Hi everyone. Today is Wednesday 22nd of November 2023. This is Class API release team meeting. As usual, if you have anything to add to the agenda, please add. Also add your names. One more reminder, this meeting is recorded and later will be uploaded to YouTube Class API YouTube channel. As usual, also we follow CNCF code of conduct, which means being kind and respectful to each other. And with that, we can get started. No, it should be fine. Okay, I don't have any PSA, but only one discussion topic that would like to discuss. Most of you were there yesterday when we were releasing the first RC. So there were issues with test extension binary in CAPI images that is described in this issue from Stefan. So the TLDR is we have a hypothesis that the PR where we introduced the build, like improving the release staging build speed could cause this. So as an action point, what we did is we reverted this change on main branch before creating a release 1.6 branch. And also we reverted the same change in release 1.5 and release 1.4 branches. And yeah, so here I run the script provided from, I think, Chris, if I'm not mistaken, where we can check all the published tags, starting from basically release 1.6 cycle up to now. And I got the findings that we have only 2 tags with failures, which has actually the problem. And that's v1.6 beta 1, as you see here, and the v1.5.3, which has the wrong binary inside. And yeah, as a follow-up, we were discussing it with Stefan offline that we will update, or we already did update the release notes for these specific release versions on the release notes itself. Probably I can show it here, saying okay, yeah, there is a small issue with our image building, and these images contain like wrong binary, but it will be fixed in the upcoming release, or it's already fixed in this release kind of note that's already added on the release notes. Yeah, that's mostly it about this. Is there any questions? Or Stefan, do you want to add something more that I missed probably?
I think you covered almost all of it. I wrote like one last comment below, just that for this issue, essentially, we should probably keep an eye on just like, I don't know, if you want to run something on main, but I would say at least once before we do the image promotion for the next releases, I think it would be good if you run the script at least against like the staging images before we do the promotion like the next 1 or 2 weeks. And I think if we're good, then it's probably fine. Something like that. And I think then we can close this issue, and then it's just a question of do we want to try another iteration on improving the speed? And if you do this, then we probably have to dig deeper and figure out like what happened here. I mean, if you want to try to improve it the same way, at least, then we have to figure out more details. Otherwise, I'm personally fine with just, okay, at least we know which change broke it. and we know that's fixed again. And yeah, I mean, it's good enough for me. I don't have the time.
Thanks, Navas.
Also, shall we send out an email update to the community that one of our image is broken?
Actually, I did. So I added the note to the RC.0 release announcement email, but that's pending the approval from probably Fabrizio. I asked him to let it go. But yeah, so I had a small, like, similar note that I showed in the here at the bottom of the email. Hope it's enough, or do you suggest doing it differently?
I think that should be good. Thanks for adding that.
Yeah, I think it's also okay because essentially for the only like full release that we did, it's only the test extension image that probably nobody's using. And the other one was only on a beta. So, I mean, that should be okay.
Okay, cool. To follow up on your comment here, I was actually testing some of the commits from the v1.5 release. So basically, after we created the v1.5.3 tag, there were some commits that I saw, and I ran the same script, and it had the problem. And I ran the script before backporting or before revert PR. So basically, we have a signal that before revert, there were issues. I'll follow up. So since we merged the revert, if there are any PRs merging soon to the release 1.5, then I should be able again test it and see. I think that should clearly give signal that the revert solves it or not, probably. All right. Yeah, question. Anything else that you have to discuss here? If not, I'll move if we have anything here to discuss. And I don't see anything. Okay. Does anyone have anything to bring up which is not on the list?
I just go ahead, Anurag.
Okay. All right. I already shared with Focus, and I would like to get a comment here. Like, I'm working on the adding SBOM to the cluster API images, and then I saw that the namespace of the registry is like tied to sbom.gates.io. So I'm not sure whether any of the existing projects within Kubernetes ecosystem is leveraging, say, adding SBOM to something like sbom.gates.io.
Sorry, Anurag. I think I didn't follow the question. Are you saying that none of the projects under Kubernetes ecosystem right now are using that namespace?
No, I was saying that I am not aware of any projects using this, adding SBOM to this path, to this namespace, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it. I didn't have time today, but yeah, it seems like it's only used in
Yeah, if you look at
yeah, so yeah,
percentages, then it is, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that ideally in our case, the namespace should be sbom.k/cluster API, and then the name of the controller images that we want to build, and then followed by the sbom path. And here it does not seem to happening this way, but I may be wrong, but this is the initial thought which I looked into.
Can we put it on the issue itself, all your findings, so that everyone has clear idea, and probably we can try to help here. I'm not sure I'm fully getting the whole picture because
I think Stefan mentioned last time on the issue that we were using most of the release tools from Kubernetes ecosystem, like what Kubernetes is. So, like, Stefan, do you have any example where, say, any project is using their SBOM tooling to attach the SBOM to their images?
Oh no, I have absolutely no idea, to be honest. The only thing I know is essentially that the image build that we use, so there's like every commit on main gets like an image in a staging repository that is just totally shared with like the Kubernetes ecosystem. We just use what they give us. Then that process where we take images from staging and put them on production, that is 100% from the community. I think they also give us like signed images already, just for free by us using that. But I have zero idea about SBOMs. I just know that we essentially just use what a bunch of other people use to build and publish images to staging and production. It could be that they maybe simply only implement like the SBOM stuff for core Kubernetes, and just nobody ever thought about introducing this to other subprojects of Kubernetes. This to me.
Yes,
Yeah,
I also think the same way. Like, it's the most, like, in my opinion, that's the most appropriate thing that's happening. Like, the SBOM tooling is totally tied to the Kubernetes projects as of now, but we can extend it, like, if they are willing to do that.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's probably the most likely thing that we have to do, or at least a discussion that we have to start. Basically ask them, hey, we saw that you're doing this SBOM thing. We already built our container images that way. Do you see a way that we can extend this tooling to also produce SBOMs for cluster API or something like that, and then just see what they answer and what they think.
okay. Does it answer your question, Anurag?
Yes, I will do two things. Like, I will first put everything on the issue itself, and then I will probably open up a thread in a SIG release channel.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. Anything else that we'd like to discuss?
Maybe just one point. I don't know if you want to discuss it here or not. So I just like merged like the move to the EKS cluster. I just merged the PR for release 1.4, and I also canceled the PR to drop the release 1.3 jobs. As I wrote before. It's like just to mention it. If you go to Slack, it should be like.
Yeah. Okay. So
things from there.
Yeah. So will be running release 1.4 jobs on EKS, and we don't have the probably release 1.3 jobs anymore?
Yeah, they should go away within the next 5 or 10 minutes, and it might take a bit until the UI doesn't find any new jobs and goes. I think the dashboard goes away as soon as like test grid refreshes the config. So I would say tomorrow that tab is probably gone. And I think then we can also probably, we have like, I think one flag issue where we wrote like, hey, it's only happening on release 1.3. We can probably close that then.
Yeah, I think that's from Nawaz, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, if you just filter for like, I think kind flake or whatever that was, or flake test or something, then there are only like 6 to 7 issues there. It's the one with timeout. But I can also just share that link.
Probably this one. Quick start with ignition should create a workload cluster.
I think I
And it's
remember
time.
this, yeah, but I'm not
Timing
super
out.
sure. Did you get that from like the issue 9258?
No. I was just checking from
I posted the link in Zoom. Ah, okay. Ah, yeah, that might be the same. I saw like that error somewhere, and I think I got it from there.
All right, I'm opening the issue. So
Yeah, but that's definitely the one I'm referring to. And I think like there was something like, hey, it's only happening on 1.3.
probably this one. Oh, this is expired. Probably this one.
I don't know if the one above works. There was like a third link in the middle.
You mean this one?
Yeah. I don't know if that's basically pointing to this error, right? Yeah. I think in any case, I think once the dashboard is gone, we can just basically close this issue based on like what was written there, that it's just for 1.3. And then if you find like new other flakes on main, or maybe even the same, then you can just open a new issue. I mean, if you scroll down, the second post from the bottom was this flake happens only on 1.3. So.
Yeah. Okay. Adele is already saying that we can. Yeah, sure. And how about the other issue that we had, that we were discussing, that's happening in the release 1.3? So in EKS clusters. What was the name?
Yeah.
I think that was from Nawaz, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. The pod got deleted unexpectedly.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen a recent occurrence of that, but I would say keep it until we drop release 1.3 and get at least one test signal from release 1.4, and then we close it out.
Can you just open the? Yeah, we're talking about this one, right? Just that we're talking about the same.
Yeah, this one.
Okay. Yeah. So based on what Arnaud was saying, what I would expect is that this issue will continue to occur, but very rarely. And it doesn't really matter which branch. It depends on just on which cluster we are running, which branch, and then basically the cluster is the one which is relevant there. So yeah, up to you how you want to handle it. Based on what I got from Arnaud is basically it's just okay. In some cases, probably very rarely, the cluster autoscaler will just scale down nodes in the pro cluster. When that happens, our jobs will fail. There's no way around that. I wouldn't really block like our migration to EKS based on that like once in a while one job fails because they are scaling down nodes, because I mean, I don't know. I mean, we can clearly say based on the error message that it's not a CAPI failure. And I think at this point, I would really like to move to EKS and not basically, say, oh, we're not moving until you change the way that the pro cluster works, because that's our alternative. And I think that's probably not a good idea. So my expectation would be basically that probably the issue itself, I mean, not necessarily the GitHub issue, but just what we see there will stay around probably forever. But it's just that rare that it shouldn't be a problem for us. That's at least my take.
Yeah, I think makes sense. but just to clarify, did we discuss about when we will be moving the remaining tests, like release 1.5 and release 1.6 and main probably?
We didn't really put any dates on that. So basically, I mean, we had a timeline like a few months ago how we wanted to do it, but let's restart the discussion, I would say. So I think what I would do is I mean, now we have the release 1.4 test running there. I would maybe, let's be realistic, take another look next week and we get around to it. Just, I mean, I think if you have like clear data for, what's today, Wednesday, for like 4 or 5 days, and we say, okay, release 1.4 on EKS looks good to us. I think that's probably good enough to also start with moving 1.5. I mean, 1 week of jobs running is a lot of data. So yeah, maybe something like that. My impression just in general is that the EKS class is probably just fine. I mean, we had this one issue, and they fixed something to, I don't know if I wrote this somewhere or not. So this issue around like that pods are getting killed, that was happening way more frequently in the past. And I was talking with Arnaud at KubeCon, and he was basically saying they were working with the EKS support or something. They don't really know what the root cause is, but they recommended to switch to Emerson Linux or something. And then after they made this change, they didn't get like this random pod kills. And now it seems like we still have the same effect, but more rarely. and now, based on what Arnaud wrote, only on the based on a cluster autoscaler, but it's not like every 5th run is fading like what we had before. Yeah. So TLDR, I would say let's give it like 5 to 7 days for 1.4, and I think then we can also move 1.5.
Okay, so and each one going obviously. Each going one by one, right? After a week, after each other.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
what we can do is, for example, we can say let's move if everything looks good for if the 1.4 tests are looking good next week, then maybe let's move 1.5 on Wednesday. And if that looks good, then let's move 1.6 and main after the 1.6.0 release, which would be like 1 week later on Wednesday. I mean, I'm just making up some random dates here. I think it's probably okay.
I hope I got your idea, but yeah, just wanted to have something, you know.
No, absolutely makes sense to have a concrete plan. And sounds good what you wrote.
Right. Also, I agree that we haven't seen a lot of pod unexpectedly deleted cases on release 1.3 lately. So happy to close out that issue too.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Thanks for the discussion, folks. I think we are around time. If there's nothing, we can cut the call here and join the office hours or stay here. Or probably end the meeting actually after join. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining and see you in 2 minutes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.